On today's show, we ask, how do Christians celebrate Christmas?
Welcome to TGI Monday. We're in a special treat this morning. We are in Howell's house, which, as you can see, is full of all the glories of Christmas.
Cool.
I'm especially loving, I don't know if you can see, pink glitter Mary.
It's the Immaculate Heart, get it right.
It's the Immaculate Heart.
Get it right,
there
get
you
it
go.
right.
She's glittery Mary as well.
And I can see some of us have got our Christmas jumpers on.
Yeah.
Or our children's. This is my daughter's.
This is mine.
And I've spent most of my adult life taking clothes from my younger cousins, and
Right.
now this is from my youngest son. So yeah.
Oh my God.
But yours is your very own.
I get bought one every year.
Ooh, lovely.
Every year. This is last year. Yeah.
Impressed.
You've had to put us at different ends in case the friction of the hideous
the acrylics
would
would
set
just
on fire. Yeah.
And Dan, I see you're wearing your Christmas sweater.
Yeah, I tried hard.
Full of cheer.
I tried
full
hard
of
this
cheer.
week.
I've got one upstairs. You want to borrow
I
it?
made
right?
an
You know.
effort. Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
So
So-
how's your week, Father Scrooge?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, humbug.
Good. Well, the reason we're in Howell's house this morning is all my fault. I overslept this morning, and so we're running a bit late. So let's get on with our question. This has come in from one of our local schools. One of the kids in school asked this question: what do Christians believe about Christmas, and how does our celebration differ from those who don't believe? Great question. What do Christians believe about Christmas, and how does that differ in the way that we celebrate? I was going to do a little Christmas quiz. Should we do this just to see if we've got what the Christmas story is?
Right, yeah.
So,
I hope so. I hope so.
I'm nervous.
How are we going to start with you?
Yeah.
So, did Mary travel to Bethlehem on a donkey?
Not according to the Bible, because there's no donkey in the Bible.
There's no donkey in the
See?
Bible. But we don't know that she didn't.
No, it's all right.
But it doesn't specifically say that she did.
Do you know what? I got a present from my mum when I was about 4, and it was a book called Donkey Daniel. It was one of those books that you could buy it, and it would have your child's name put in it.
And you were the
remember
donkey.
that?
Yeah, and it wasn't until I was about 22 that I realised that actually the donkey wasn't
You
called
were the
Daniel, and I only now realise there's no donkey. So my Christmas theology is utterly dreadful.
Good, well, let's try you on the
Donkey
next
Dan.
one then.
Yeah. Oh dear, this is
So when Jesus was born,
Oh dear.
was it in a stable full of animals?
We don't know.
We don't know. What do we know
Well, it was
about...
a stable, so it was at Christmas time. There's a possibility that animals there overnight.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they isn't.
What do we know about where he was born?
We know it was basically like a kind of back room type thing. That's about it, really.
Well, we know there was a manger, don't we?
Yeah.
That is in the Bible. And the manger obviously is an animal feeding trough. So the likelihood is it might have been a stable and there might have been animals around, but it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay, Zoe.
I'm nervous. Can you tell?
Zoe, were there 3 kings who brought presents to Jesus?
Oh. Well, Magi is who they are, but I don't think we know if there are 3.
Okay, what do we know about them? Just explain what a magi is.
Oh, kind of astrologer, wisdom, searcher of the stars for cosmic wisdom people. They're the sort of...
Zoroastrians.
Yeah, and why
Yeah,
do we think there might be 3? I mean, as you
because
say,
of the 3 different gifts. They
Right.
bought 3 different things, symbolic things.
This is like the church quiz, this one.
Did I
There's
get
pressure
that?
there.
Did I get that right?
yes,
I'm
that's
expecting
perfect.
the check.
Simon.
And Ross.
In our nativity scenes, we tend to have Mary and Joseph and Jesus and as we said, sometimes some animals. And then there are shepherds, and then there are the wise men. Is that how it was, do you think?
Very unlikely.
No.
Why do you think that's wrong?
We know that the wise men arrived somewhat later.
Right.
Probably up to 2 years. So I don't think the
2
shepherds would have hung around that long.
Exactly.
Well,
we're told...
only because Herod had all
Yeah,
the
no,
2-year-olds.
it's a long time.
Exactly.
This quiz has ruined a lot of people's Christmases.
I know, I just think it's quite important that we realise that actually even when we're thinking about the Christian Christmas, there's a lot of sort of mythology around that. And you're exactly right, Simon, the shepherds were told about Jesus the same night he was born, and so they went to see him when he was, a little tiny newborn. But it seems likely that the Magi came, as you say, any time up to 2 years old. So
Yeah.
it's very unlikely they were there at the same time.
How's cats going bananas over here?
Yes,
That's
Chewy the
fine.
cat.
We're just
Chewy the
ignoring the
cat.
cat and moving
Chewy
on.
the cat.
So
I haven't
there's-
asked you an hard question.
Sorry, you
I'll
can
think
ask
you
Oh,
wanna
no.
do
You,
that.
right, yeah, let's...
Was the 25th? Was the 25th of December really Christmas?
No.
not?
So
No,
good.
that's it. I'm the winner.
yeah,
says
right,
Ross.
so I'm
Answering
sorting
the
out,
question.
Okay, let's move on
Right,
to the
yeah.
question. So we've had some stuff about the facts about what Christians believe about Christmas. What do we actually believe is going on at Christmas, Hal, and why is it important for Christians?
Well, at Christmas, you have the Word made flesh, and what that means is God, instead of saying how much He believes, how much He loves us, He actually shows how much He loves us by being born into our world. And the way in which He's born into our world is so important. So He is showing us in action that He is with the poor, because He's literally with the poor, and He chooses to be born with the lowest of the low, as the lowest of the low. And it's all the different characters in the Christmas story reveal who God is. So you have Jesus, who is God and man, born to show us in action that He loves us
Absolutely.
and to join us in our world.
And go on, Zoe.
Talking about mythology, and kind of exactly what you've just said. Have you seen the Latin American nativity scene where in the corner you have an extra character, and it is a character? It's basically
Oh, yes, I have.
a man doing a poo in the
Yes.
corner, which sounds absolutely horrific, but he is there. And I'm not going to swear, but
Yeah.
normally this involves a swear word. That it also shows that Jesus, that God comes to us amid the poo in
Yeah.
our lives.
But that's what we've done up
And
in
that's
church.
really important.
Is in church we've asked everyone a question this year, and we did last year, to create a crib, answering the question: if God was born into our world today, how and where would He be born? And you have all sorts of different answers for that. And it's about using our imagination to imagine how and where He'd be born. So you could have like a refugee camp. We've had that. We've had last year we had a junior school had Mary without Joseph, because
As a
everyone
single mother.
because everyone breaks up these days.
Yeah, gosh.
So it's actually, to get the true understanding of the Christmas story, we have to use our imagination and put it in our context
Yeah.
today.
And that's a very powerful thing, isn't it? To think, God came into our world, but God came into, as you say, the messiest part and the lowest part and the least regarded part. And I think that turns upside down a lot of our views of what God is like. And a lot of our views, therefore, about what church is like. And, often churches seem like they are for people whose lives are all sorted out and, kind of have... Do you know what I mean? You
yeah,
get
and
that
go around
idea.
telling people that they're not worthy.
Yeah, and actually...
The opposite.
The opposite is that, and Christmas
Completely.
shows us that. Well, let's just move on very quickly to the last part of the question. How does our celebration differ from those who don't believe? Does that mean that Christians don't have tinsel and fairy lights and presents and trees and stockings and advent calendars?
Look around the house.
Yeah.
Look around the house.
Was it like in your house, Dan?
No, I mean, you can have all of that, and you
Yes.
can have all the celebration, you can have all the fun, and we do, and it would be wrong not to. But it's the focus that you're taking, is your focus about everything that Hal said, about new life, about humility, about being with people who have less than yourself, or is it about presents? Is it, this week, not this week, a couple of weeks ago, we were working with some young people, and it was Advent, and we said to the young people, now Advent is a time of expectation of someone arriving, because Advent means arrival. And who is it, kids, at this time of year? Whose arrival do we expect? And they all came back,
Father Christmas.
Father Santa, Father Christmas. And I thought, gosh, we've got a lot of work to
whoa.
do here. But that's the thing, isn't it? Is that what we're focusing on at Christmas time as Christians is the birth of the Son of God.
Yeah.
It's not focusing on Father Christmas and movies and
Yeah.
but you still have all that special stuff like people, Christmas cake and families getting together and all the atmosphere that goes with Christmas and all the Christmas movies. We get all of that, but I think we get more.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
we
yes,
actually get me.
Yeah,
we
exactly
get
that.
We've got an interesting family tradition about that. And years ago, when my wife didn't go to church, when she was an atheist, we decided she bought this, which is, and I said, what's that got to do with Christmas? And it's a musical note, and I hate it so much. And that's why it's got to go on the tree every year.
Yeah.
And what we do is, every year, we buy the most un-Christmas-related Christmas decoration. So we've got
The mushroom.
The
mushroom,
the Christmas mushroom.
and everything else. So we do sort of crazy stuff like that because I think in an ironic way, it sort of reminds us then what Christmas is actually about by celebrating it in a joke way.
Yeah, you kind of really separate the two in a way.
No, well, I
you?
don't think. What we see with Christmas, though, is this division between the sacred and the secular is overcome. Because God is not about something out there, away from the world. God is with us in the world, in our ordinary things. So God is in the mushroom, and he's in the ridiculous, and he's in Muppet Christmas Carol and Jingle All the Way. He's not in Strictly Come Dancing, because I hate that.
Of course he is, and that is
But-
what Christmas is all
He's in
about.
everything, but that's the point.
Exactly.
It removes
So actually,
that
it
barrier.
means as Christians, we can celebrate Christmas wholeheartedly, join in all the fun as much as everyone can. But as Dan says, we also have more than that to remember. God coming into our world for us to be one of us, and that's pretty amazing.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and thanks for putting up my cats running around all over the place. And Merry Christmas to you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and send in your questions.